Happy Sunday, everyone. Meteorologist Brittany Voorhees here in the WCNC Weather Center. Of course, we have rain returning to the forecast today, but that is not what the main point of this stream is. It's actually to talk about Artemis I splashdown today. So we're doing the stream a little bit earlier just so everyone has plenty of time to kind of be aware, just in case they wanted to watch it, wanted to know more. So the cool thing about Artemis, which we've said a lot, right? This is the first time that the United States plans to send an American to the moon since the Apollo program ended back in the 70s. And the ultimate goal, too, is to send the first woman and person of color to the moon, which I think is really, really, really cool. Of course, being a woman in STEM, right? Especially. So, we're going to talk a little bit more about what's going on today. So, of course, this has been an unmanned mission. Sorry, I have got some notes that I might be reading from at times. This has been an unmanned mission that they've been on for a few months now. It's been flying around the moon. And, of course, the ultimate goal of this unmanned mission is that everything needs to go well so that they know that in future missions, they can send people. NASA TV is going to have live coverage of this starting at 11 a.m. We'll probably be streaming a little bit of it on WCNC as well. But the official splashdown is 12:40 p.m. today Eastern Standard Time. So the splashdown, of course, is going to happen in multiple steps. So the first step is that the Orion spacecraft is going to separate from its service module. Step two, which this one I find the most interesting, is that it's going to skip off the Earth's atmosphere. So this is actually a similar process to like when you see a rock skipping off of a lake, which is really, really cool. This was not possible during the Apollo missions back in the 70s. It's actually due to advances in spacecraft technology and navigation. And it's actually a safer and smoother ride for astronauts when they're eventually on the spacecraft. If we're able to, if everything goes well and we're able to send them in, I believe it's 2024 or 2025. I'll have to double check that. And then after that, Orion will enter the Earth's atmosphere at a speed of 25,000 miles per hour, and the maximum peak temperature of the spacecraft is going to be 5,000 degrees Fahrenheit. Now, of course, that is really hot. So, of course, it has a lot of protective shields, things like that. And this is going to be a big test for that heat shield, as it's one of the strongest I believe they've ever had. After that, Orion will open its protective bay cover. Eventually, it will open the first round of parachutes. There's 11 total. This will start to slow it down. The first round of parachutes, they're each 100 feet long. Imagine how big that is. Then the pilot parachutes will come. Then the last three main parachutes. So it's kind of like a series of different parachutes. Of course, I'm not cool enough to know exactly what they all do separately. And then after that, splashdown, if everything goes well, of course, the U.S. Navy and an exploration ground team from the NASA's Kennedy Space Center will be helping out with that. And this is a direct quote actually from NASA. I saw this on space.com, so I just want to give them a shout out and also quote it too. So before splashdown, the team will head out to sea in a Navy ship at the direction of the NASA recovery director, the Navy divers, and other team members in several inflatable boats will be cleared to approach. Divers will eventually then attach a cable to the spacecraft and pull it by winch into a specially designed cradle inside the space's well deck. Open water personnel will also be able to recover the Orion's forward bay cover and three main parachutes. Those are those last of the 11 that they send out. So really cool. We're really excited. And we're actually going to show you a package from our NBC, one of our NBC affiliates, talking more about this. And of course, afterwards, we're going to talk forecast. So here's that story.
3, 2, 1. Boosters in ignition.
Space travel has captured the imagination of some of these San Diego-based sailors since they were kids.
Super excited. It's an experience that you can't really say or explain to most people because nobody can really say they've done it before.
It's not often you get to do something with such high visibility and such historical impact.
Sunday, they'll be part of the history-making NASA Navy recovery team on board USS Portland that's home ported in San Diego. The amphibious ship will recover and temporarily house the Orion space capsule when it splashes down after 25 days in orbit.
Practicing, staying, keeping everything refreshed and ready to go, and, making sure I'm squared away and do exactly what I need to do.
We got a first-hand look at the jet-propelled boat that Bosun made second-class Matthew Foster will pilot for the spacecraft recovery mission. This is video of his six-boat team training for the mission recently here in San Diego. Foster's boat will be the one towing the unmanned Orion capsule to USS Portland.
It was a little bit more challenging than what I was expecting, but at the same time, I was like, okay, I did it a couple of times. Like, all right, this is easy. I know exactly, what I need to do with both my engines to actually make it work and manipulate it how I need to.
Orion was originally due to splashdown near San Diego, but it'll now land off the coast of central Baja California. It'll remain powered up for at least 2 hours for testing before being shut down and towed in.
I'm the primary lookout on board on the bridge.
Ensign Adam Renier is in charge of helping to safely navigate USS Portland within about 6 miles of the capsule once it hits the water.
So we have the helmsman driving, we have the quartermaster of the watch navigating and making sure that we're in the right spot. We'll have the officer of the deck who's overall in charge, and the junior officer of the deck is tracking the radar picture and other contacts. Otherwise, I'll be out on the port bridge wing looking at the capsule as we approach.
The Navy has a huge role. They not only bring it in with the ship, but there are divers that do all of the hands-on work with the capsule, and then the helicopter squadron we use takes all of the re-entry data, which is important because if we don't get that data, we can't fly crew on Artemis II.
Once the crew tows the capsule close enough to the Portland, line handlers will attach cables to help reel it into the ship's well deck, a sort of enclosed dry dock that can be flooded or pumped dry.
I'll be right on the ship, orchestrating communication.
Bosun-mate First Class Timothy Akwasa will help manage that operation.
When our well deck was open, we brought it right inside, had a lot of people within our wing walls in the well deck managing the maneuvering and making sure it would actually not hit the sides because you don't want to damage that heat seal, right?
Falling parachutes and debris, as well as radiation emitted from the capsule, are among the dangers to anyone who tries to get too close. The Navy combat ship USS Montgomery will be on hand to provide support.
Biggest thing is ensuring that we know what other vessels are in the area, making sure that there's public service announcements over the bridge to bridge, and trying to keep a good perimeter.
So it's actually been connected to something like that.
It's a big team effort with hundreds of crew members involved, taking a small step towards one giant leap for mankind's return to the moon.
This is history in the making, and the work that we're going to do here in the next couple of weeks is going to one day support putting humans into that capsule, and again, the Navy will be there to support NASA.
I mean, it's just really, really, it's hard to find a better word for it, right, than really, really cool. It is history in the making. Again, it's been since the 70s that we've sent Americans to the moon, since the Apollo mission originally did end. This is going to be a really, really exciting time. Fingers crossed everything goes well. Again, this is ending Artemis I's unmanned mission to the moon. It's got a lot of steps, a lot of things to go right, but hopefully if everything goes well, that means eventually we can send folks back up there. Again, the live stream starts on NASA TV at 11 a.m. I'm sure have a little bit of that over on our website, WCNC.com, and our WCNC Charlotte mobile app, but the splashdown is expected in the Pacific Ocean at 12:40 p.m. Eastern time. So good stuff, right? Now, if you're going to be inside at 12:40 p.m. Eastern time, there's probably a reason why, and it probably has to do with the weather. So let's go to our graphics now. It is once again a gloomy day here in the Charlotte area. In fact, you can see from our live box camera, our 4-box there in the corner, we have really gloomy skies from Dallas, Monroe, Kannapolis, really all the way across the area. If Anders, we can make the graphics bigger for folks to see, since they look pretty tiny out there right now. Thank you. So, of course, you can see cloudy skies, Monroe, Dallas, Kannapolis out there as we're kicking off the day. No rain now. In fact, the rain is definitely kind of steadily pushed back a little bit across the area, which might be good for those of you who weren't prepared to be driving around in it early, but maybe not so much for folks who had outdoor plans a little bit later on. These showers are going to linger really for much now of the afternoon. But this morning, no rain to track. Of course, we have a little bit of patchy fog there up toward Jefferson and Ashe County, but nothing significant out there right now. And in fact, for areas down toward the southern part of the mountains, the foothills that saw fog a little bit earlier, things are good to go. Good morning, Kelsey. I hope you're having a great day so far. Satellite and radar imagery, of course, you can see the clouds really abundant there, shaded in white. But just a little bit of light patchy drizzle. That's pretty much all we're going to see for most of this morning. It's the latter half of the afternoon that we really ramp back up those rain chances. So right now, time-wise, at least for the best chance for the Charlotte area, specifically the metro across the 45 loop, 11 a.m. to about 5 p.m., peaking around about 2 o'clock this afternoon. But it's not the Charlotte metro area only that's going to see this rain. Metro down toward the Sandhills especially, but other spots, not so much. We're going to show you futurecast in just a second. But because of all this rain, your Napa meter off the charts. And honestly, even if it wasn't raining, I'd probably give you a high ranking here just because it's going to be so cloudy and gloomy. So again, rain chances ramping back up late this morning or afternoon. You can see 1 o'clock, getting closer to about 2, 3, 4, 5 o'clock. You can see again abundant light rain. But notice that areas north of I-40, really not seeing much. This is mostly light to moderate rain, but it's especially toward, I would say, parts of Lincoln County, maybe southern Catawba County, Cabarrus County, southern Rowan, and area south. But it's really mainly for the metro and parts south toward the Sandhills. And you can see by about 8, 9 o'clock, most areas dry, which is a few little patches of drizzle for tomorrow, late this evening and early tomorrow morning. And then Monday, the sunshine finally returns. I know a lot of the deep south has been dealing with this the past few days, but sunshine abundant Monday, Tuesday. So if you've been holding off on the holiday decor, maybe you brought some things inside and are wondering when you can take them back out, tomorrow and Tuesday, you're looking much, much better until rain returns on Wednesday. So you can kind of see this here over the next 7 days. We have midday rain today, cloudy skies, cool conditions. Once again, highs reaching the lower 50s, about 51. That's where we were yesterday. Tomorrow will be a touch warmer, mid 50s, lots of sunshine. Cooler Tuesday as we really see the effects of this first cold front coming through today. And then our second frontal boundary comes in late Wednesday and into Thursday. And it's actually the second front that's really going to cool us down. In fact, by this time next week, we're going to be dealing with highs in the 40s and lows near, if not lower than freezing. It's actually been a few weeks since we've seen a stretch of cold temperatures below that average and even close to that freezing mark. So this time next week, we're talking lows in the upper 20s and highs likely in the 40s. So enjoy the 50s today and of course for Monday and into Tuesday. And I hope everyone has a fabulous Sunday. Stay dry out there. Of course, stay warm. Things will be looking a lot better Monday, Tuesday. And I know people on social media, especially, have been saying this for days now. When's the rain, or when's the sun coming back out? When's the sun coming back out? The answer is tomorrow. Tomorrow. It's only a day away. And hopefully you'll tune in too for the Artemis splashdown at 12:40. Have a great day, everybody.